What's up, guys? I have a rare moment in history here that two Tiger Super 4s are in the same location, probably since the last time they were in the Tiger facility. I've restored this one for my customer, top to bottom, and we just wrapping it up. And now he has another one here that was in for repair work. We're gonna be wrapping that one up soon, but just figured I'd take a moment and show off these beautiful machines. Some say they're hideous. I kind of like them. Just the history behind them. I don't know the exact numbers, but I've heard they made between 6 and 12. I only know of about 4 to exist. They're slightly different styles, which I'm going to show the differences in this video. This one has built-on Nerf bars. This one has none. This one is a short travel suspension, as you can see. Totally different setup. Lower, wider, short travel. This one is a longer travel suspension. Taller, shorter. Both somewhat wide. A couple other differences. This one has a side induction intake. It's pretty neat, never seen one. You can see where the normal Rotax would intake. This is just a blocked off plate. This one here is the rear intake like a normal Rotax, typical to the Tiger era. Swing arm on this one is a little bit different as well. Both of these are center link like the Tiger was doing later in the years. This one got some crazy chain roller. Don't know the reasoning, but it has these swing arm guide rollers that are different, kind of space out. I remember they had an amp link back in the 80s and 90s that allowed, they sort of give you the traction to the ground the whole time you were running, and it didn't tighten up and bind like a normal suspension does. I'm kind of thinking that was the setup there. This one is just a standard swing arm, a little different. Exhaust kicks out the side on this one and more out the back on this one. So just some subtle differences. Figured I'd note those. Guess Tiger was kind of doing their own thing and just building crazy shit back then, trying to compete. Both really similar, but a bit different, which is mostly why I did these videos. The only other big difference I noticed is grab bar is a little longer and splits as a T. This one's a little narrower and shorter and just boxes in the rear, but swing arms are the same. Frames are essentially the same besides the grab bar and front suspension. Everything else, basically the same stuff. Fender style's the same. Tires and wheel setups, pretty much the wheel setup's the same. Tires are a little different. That one got some pretty cool Atsu old school, new old stock rear tires. Well, I guess that's about all the wind I could spit out right now about these things. Just super cool history. Glad to have had them in my shop, but they take up a lot of dang room, so they can go. Thanks. If you like what you see, keep following, subscribe, tell your buddies, share it, and more to come. Getting a lot closer on the Super 4. Got the throttle, the brakes, the clutch, electrical, all the front suspension done. Got the hubs, I'm waiting on some new lugs. Pretty much got everything going, ready in place. I'll start doing the plumbing for that tomorrow. Got the suspension set, kill switch engaged. I gotta order a new kicker rebuild kit. Got the chain on, rear brakes, rear suspension, muffler in place. I got a bracket at home that I have to paint. Pretty rad looking geometry sprocket setup. I don't know why or what they have that for. I guess it helps with the jumps and geometry. Maybe it doesn't load the chain up as such as bad, but things coming out pretty cool. I like it. It'll be a nice bike when it's done for sure. Tiger Super 4 coming to completion. Everything that is in place is now permanent. Thank goodness. This has been an interesting bike to build. Obviously I'm missing my bolts for the sprocket, but everything else is going well. Rear shock has been built by Kevin Groff from Jakawa out of Arizona. Engine built by Mr. Tony Murphy at Rotax. So those are the two things we subbed out. Everything else is done in-house. Final completion. This bike was never truly assembled, so we had to build some bracketry and do a few things to get customized, but definitely a neat piece of history. Got a mean stance, nice and low. Just pretty excited about it. Do a full write-up and build once it's done. Do some photo shoots with another one actually we have here. So it'll be nice to see. Stay tuned for the next segment. What's up guys? Travis here at D&A. I am just starting to cover this Super 4. We're kind of midway in this build. We have some pieces we're still mocking up, trying to get right. I'm gonna have to just finished fabbing up this upper shock mount. This bike never came with any. It actually was meant for a totally different type of shock setup. So we're working on that. Got these front forks done. Front shocks done with Jakawa, Kevin Groff. He's my shock and sometimes fork guy. Pretty much just mocking things up. Got this engine built here. Mr. Tony Murphy with Rotax actually did this one for me. He is pretty much the go-to guy with everything Rotax. Old school, been doing it since the 70s, and he's really good at what he does. We are gonna pretty much document everything on this build because there is only like 5 of these here, and we have our opportunity to build one and actually have one in my lobby for the same customer that we're mocking off of, because I've never seen a Super 4 in person but for a moment briefly. So we're gonna pretty much mock the suspension and try to get everything set off of that one. Got a box of rusty parts needing restoration, bunch of stuff to go to zinc. Got a new Grameca rear master cylinder, front suspension, got a new pipe, new radiator, tank, fenders all gonna need to be redone. There's that Monster Tiger 500 I covered in a couple of other videos. And, you know, just some cool stuff around the shop. Always busy around here at D&A. Always got some cool builds. Usually have a lobby full of cool stuff. And here's that beauty of the other Super 4. So this one here, like I said, is owned by the same customer. And we're gonna do a little bit of cleanup. We're gonna put some Nerf bar nets in it while we at it. And probably test fire this thing and maybe even go for a spin. I will definitely catch that in a video if we do that. Not sure if the customer's gonna want us to do so, but if he gives us the green light, guess what? We're going ride. All right, guys, see y'all in another video. Y'all have a great day. That's my boy Ian, big dog.